Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Market Internal Review for Monday, October 30th, 2023. Looking at SPY here, we had a gap up pretty much across the market. We had a real healthy gap up on the New York Stock Exchange composite here. We actually gapped into this channel that I have seen being respected fairly well. I don't necessarily trade off of these. Sometimes I'll take a stab at different bounces or whatnot, but last Friday we broke below that, lost the second deviation low on monthly TiWAP, and pretty much held that all the way down till the end of the Friday's trading session there. But then today we gapped up into that, and I think all of the different indices, let's see, Q's had a $2.50 gap. Dow, I know, had a decent gap, about 2.2. Let's see, Russ had another one, $1.50. So this morning got off to a pretty interesting start. We had this kind of a sneaky ride up here right off the gap. We didn't even test it one bit. And tick really hot to start out. Mercy showing overbought, which has been decently accurate. We had an extreme tick closure, and we've got previous day high just a couple, what was that, about 50 cents, maybe $1 actually. And it was just very suspect for me watching this, seeing the tick on the decline and the price on the advancement here for SPY. Heading over to Russell. Russell was gapped up almost right below previous day high and immediately rejected it. Rejected TiWAP here and started to accumulate more towards the downside. And that was, just such an interesting divergence. In the rest of the indices, Dow was pretty strong. Q was also pretty strong. They had this real quick 180. They tested their gap and then ripped right above it. Claimed a session TiWAP and broke previous day high in record time. That was by 9:36, so 6 minutes in, they're already busted out a previous day high. Incredible. And yeah, SPY was 2 minutes after that. So a pretty incredible open. That being said, if you recall my last video, if you watched it, my last market internal review video, I created a little bit of a range out of these three sell candles here on the SPY daily, and that 50% spot there was really just it's just a quick way for me to slice up a range and give me a target to adjust my bias. It doesn't mean I can't look for longs on lower time frames, but as far as like shifting maybe like a multi-day type setup for a week or something, I wanted to see 415 and 415.5 essentially. I wanted to see that break and hold for maybe a little bit of an upside kind of perspective, maybe a reclaim of or a retest of 200 SMA on the daily, things like that. But so I've got this 415.60, and I'm kind of watching that, and we didn't quite make it there, but we had enough weakness where, coupled with what the internals were showing, I kind of I decided to take a short entry. We broke previous day high so fast, and Russell was not showing that strength. And I also I've seen the Russell basically kind of call the shot as like a leading indicator. It doesn't work all the time, but it has worked quite a lot. And I was also seeing the entire composite for New York is heading down as well. So Russ is definitely in lockstep, and taking that short, I basically was targeting. Basically I was targeting like my ultimate short target for the day would have been previous day low, which is around like 409, but that gap fill was really what I was looking for, which apparently I still have my alerts here. That was for a different trade, but gap fill was really what I was looking for. We had this insane wick here as well, which I really don't know what that is for. It wasn't on Thinkorswim. But anyways, so we actually get a really nice kind of breakdown and a retest here. That's one of those in style uh, candle formations that I look for more off of TiWAP itself, but it actually happened over here on previous day high, and that provided a pretty decent move. But I was short from up here, just given that SPY daily level, and it's just real easy for me to take something like that, knowing that if I'm wrong, the stop is just right there. I'm not looking to hold for some extremely high level, like I don't know, just not anything interesting to me that I was gonna do. It just had to work roughly about there, or it wasn't gonna work not at all, and that's fine. So seeing the average tick closures, seeing the cross down on Mercy, like all that stuff started to come down. And I'm also finally starting to see some bear tick. So that was another part, was we had one-sided tick again, and seeing the trend imbalance here with the white dots on MIT was really giving me some good confidence that we would have a good downward move. And we really just continue to hold the daily gap midpoint here. We didn't quite get to that. Previous TWAP first standard deviation range is really what had the most alignment today. We really just could not sell into this range. We were just holding it like crazy. And I noticed part of the reasoning for that was because Russ really just it sold so far and so fast that it just any little pop in Russ was like just a nitrous for Qs and SPY. So it just really messed up a lot of short-sided trades. So I had two TWAP based BNR kind of trades, a break and retest, that failed today. I try to target about 2 SDs. So from here, this would have been like one trim, and then this would have been profit target. And 2 times it failed on SPY today. So not a good day for that strategy, but I'm hopeful that there'll be some better trades. I did end up taking another trade here. We had again another one of those kind of in type trades. It not as clean because they did not close back below previous day high and then close back above. But grabbing that one mainly because we had such strong bull tick. Mercy had we almost got to oversold, and we brought it right back up. We had just bounced off of this range and this gap so many times. And then also the Russell itself, let's see, I'm pretty sure there was the alignment here. And it was also around 130, which is one of my favorite times. But TWAP here was being reclaimed. Now this was a very clean pattern with the whole the little N pattern that I always look for. So my SL was basically the Russell losing significant structure here on TWAP. So I kind of wanted to see this area hold, and if we started to break back down, say like down into here, then I was going to cut it. But my profit on SPY was Russell grabbing my profit target. That is, was Russell grabbing the top of the daily gap. That's what I really wanted to see. And it was kind of crazy because we had so many Mercy squeeze signals on the Russ, and I know we had some other ones, but there were other things that were giving me confidence. So another one was the fact that the Dow was, I mean, literally just carrying the market today. I felt like, anyways, it didn't even actually test the daily gap. It wicked it. I mean, right on the cent. We had a monthly TWAP level here, and they refused to lose TWAP all day. We struggled around previous day high, but once we reclaimed that, we immediately ticked the first standard deviation low on the monthly TWAP. So we actually had one of the indices today reclaim that first standard deviation zone. I mean, it was really low, and we might have actually had kind of like a fake break scenario where we break into it and then we were going to lose it, but we ran out of time on the market. But just an incredible amount of upward move for Dow that I think was just helping provide additional, momentum to basically carry all the rest of the indices. And the Qs, so Qs, like I said, they grabbed the previous day high, and they quickly lost it. Not even 10:30, they were already back down testing the daily gap midpoint. You see how many times they wicked it, and then by that 1:30 time, they're actually trying to break the previous day high again. And they finally did do that, but I mean, it's just really hairy here with all the oversold potential on the New York Stock Exchange. But it ended up being a pretty good trade. It got, I think, like 1.5 SDs out of this using the TiWAP ranges indicator. I really like those levels for scalping and using as targets. So yeah, overall, not too bad. Had a decent amount of take action to the upside, which brings me over to kind of some interesting stuff here with Vold. So the Vold and the ad both had some pretty extreme channels for most of the session. I'd say like 2/3 of the session, where we just really were stuck in that channel until about 1:30. And once 1:30 broke, we rejected the bull zone one time, and then we finally had that strong break right around 2:30 and just ripped right on through. But let's see, we'll go to ad. So ad was diverged. So we had a strong ad over almost 1800 to open, and then let's see, not quite 1900, but we quickly lost it. So around 956, this then started to channel, but it did take a while. The thing is the volume, while it kept surging in the market there, the price's advancement was not really there. So I'm going to be quite interested to see what happens tomorrow. We've got some econ stuff coming out, but you can see just how hairy this price action becomes towards the end of the day, while supposedly Vold is, ripping into the bull zone. So looking at Dow, it finished very strong, but the Russ was actually, it did tap the daily gap high, but it came all the way back down to TiWAP and basically rested there just slightly above the daily gap midpoint, below previous day mid price. So I'm not quite sure. I think we just have one more day this week, or this month rather. So how we finish, I don't even know if it really matters. It's just one more day. Looking at kind of our bottom finding indicator. So the growth. So we had that bottom 14% in the S&P 500 growth stocks above 20-day average. So many times we've hit that area and we start to see a little bit of a bounce. So far there's some good alignment there. If we're going to see any more upside, I would say it's probably going to start becoming topped out about right around that 420 area. So we've got all these wicks over here, and this was the bottom of that pump range that we kind of had. So that's roughly kind of where I would think things would start to be choppy. That being said, we have, let's see, BOJ interest rate decisions happening tonight, I guess. Then we've got nothing tomorrow from U.S. Economy standpoint, but we do have some GDP numbers coming out. Let's see, the first. Okay, so the first day of November, we're really getting started off with a bang. We're looking at the Fed interest rate decision, JOLTS, job openings, PMI, and a press conference. And the press conference is in the regular trading hours. So then we've got BOE interest rate decision on the 2nd, NFP, another PMI, and unemployment on the 3rd. So, as I said last Friday, this is a pretty heavy week. I'm not bullish and I'm not really bearish here. I'm actually kind of neutral. 415, see what the futures market looks like tonight. See where we open up tomorrow. Up here, I'll be more interested maybe in longs until we get about 420-ish area, maybe even all the way up to like 423. And if we reject 415 with some conviction, then I'm going to be focused more on shorts until 409, 405, and maybe expect something there. As far as the RSIs go, we did see kind of a bump across all the sectors, including SPY zone RSI. So keep an eye out on that, but a lot of times those can fizzle out before anything really manifests. VIX did close below 20. Puts versus calls are up. So puts versus calls, I haven't talked about that for quite some time, but we were, I think we're down like 0.5, 0.7, and we've definitely started to curl that back the other direction, and we're over 1 now. So definitely, when I have seen that in the past, it's a lot more short heavy kind of market. So we've already had it. So at this point, I'd almost expect it to start curling the other way. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you got any questions, leave comments. You can go to Twitter or X, or you can find me on Discord. So, as always, thank you for watching and happy trading.